Hey guys, Sir Matrix here at your service again. Here with my 2022. Now with our last video, we kind of just made a humanoid face, just using some squares. Now, what I want to get into is creating items. So for today, I do well with firearms better than I do with most things. So we're gonna today make a firearm. So what I'm going to do is grab me a square here. And we're going to use the same tools that we used last time to sculpt our face. We're going to use the same exact tools. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this, drag this out. Hopefully you guys remember the Q key, W key, E key, and R key. And just drag that out. It doesn't really matter at this point, whatever size you feel comfortable working with. And it's important to really do all three of, like there should be 3 separate pieces or 2 separate pieces that make up the whole gun. So what we're going to do here is we're going to grab, insert edge loop tool. Now I like to insert my edges manually, but you really don't have to do it this way. What you could do is, you could go to your attribute editor right here. Zero this out. I'm going to go to my object mode. Click. Okay. There it is. And go to your polygon cube 1. Polycube 1. This is another way to add dimensions to it without having to actually manually put it in yourself. You can just go till you have width, height, and depth. We can go on height. Oops, that's the wrong one. Z that out. Where are you? Okay, I was there, but I chose the wrong one. Subdivisions. What you want to do is create the subdivisions. You have the height, the width, height, and depth for your subdivisions. You can grab any one of these. You see how I'm putting in the lines here? How they're just being created themselves. So I'll stick with this and give this 3 on 3. That ought to be fine. Depth. We'll go 1 higher. We'll go to 4. And that's just a way to get all the lines in your mesh right there. It's just one way of doing things. Okay. Now, I'm basically eyeballing. You could use a reference if you want to, but one way of getting better at this program is to eyeball. So, just grab these edges, and what I'm going to do is bring it down. Now, if you can see, it's already starting to look like the barrel. Like you're starting to get the general idea now. Alright. Now what you can do here is select your face. I'm trying to do this in a timely fashion because sometimes these things be time-based, so the video won't upload if it's too long. So if I'm speeding too much or it's too quick, feel free to rewind it. Go ahead, grab that, and I'm going to extrude this back. This will be where a bullet will fire from. I'll pull that back. Now, you don't want to pull back too far, so to see exactly where you're going, you can always go to your wireframe. And there you can see right about there. And you want to create enough space for this because we're also going to make the spring mechanism and where the bullets all go. They're all just going to come right together through here. So I'm just going to take that, put that back right there, exit out of this. There you go. Alright. Now, it still looks a little cubey, right? So remember, we hit our 3 key. Ooh, wow. Now, this won't do. So here's a little fun fact. Here's a little tip trick. When you come out with something like this, it's always good to remember, go to your edge. I will select, let's say, Select these. Let's see what happens when we select these. When I do this, go here. Now what you want to do is go to its mesh tools, and you want to crease. When you're already smoothed, you go to crease and watch, and you use your middle mouse key and just drag. You see this? Looks a little better now. That looks doable to us now. All right. And we have to do the same thing with these edges here because it's a little too curvy. So I'll grab these, do the same thing, middle mouse click, and just drag. Oh, I select my tool. Oh, that's squaring this out too much. Now we're gonna. Okay, we can just leave it like that for now. Unless we take these. Let's see what happens when we select these. Get those sides, side here, and mouse drag. There we go. Eliminate some of that boxiness. That's a little too much. There you go. That'll do. Okay. Now, what I want to do here is eliminate some of this boxiness. So I'm going to go here to my edge. Select these middle parts here. And try to, it's always good, I don't know if people here have been to a gun range or practice with firearms, but it's always good to look down your firearm to see if it's pointed straight. Any little details that need to be edited can be really useful to go, like, imagine that you're holding it. So we'll go here. We're gonna grab the middle part here. I won't grab that piece. And I'm gonna push this up. Okay, I'll grab the middle piece. I'll grab that one too. And just come up with it. Yeah, okay, that'll work. Mind you, I'm just eyeballing. You always use a reference, but I'm just complicated that way. And here's where our hammer would be. Let's extrude this inward. That's where our hammer would go. And the hammer typically usually comes down to almost to where the thumb is. So we take this, delete this. That is okay. I know what I can do here because I don't want this bottom half here. That bottom half. So I'm going to create an edge loop on this. Go to your multi-cut tool. Okay, now we're gonna have some fun here. I'm gonna grab these vertices here, go to my edit, mesh, and merge. See, I can bring those in. And now I can delete that. Let's do that again. merge. It's a nice little area for the hammer to go. Okay, slowly but surely coming together. Now we want to create where our bullet would discharge, and then where it would discharge the cartridge. So let's just say here, and choose right there, and extrude this again. Kind of a sideways view, and make it a little narrower than that. That's cool. Okay, that'll work. Repeat tool on that, extrude it again. You know what? As a matter of fact, I will use the natural tool. So side, so because it already has the side dimension on there. Let's pull this in. And try not to worry about it. Like, it has to get worse before it gets better. So what we're gonna do with this is create basically a wall here. Basically, so when it's chambered, this will actually be covered. But when it discharges, the wall will actually come back, releasing the cartridge. So far, so good. Now, it's just starting to slowly but surely come together. What I want to do is trying to determine whether I should bring this out some more. 3D look at it. And of course, now how you want to put the oops, wrong button. Put the aiming on this to put so you can aim down it. You go here, what I would normally do, a multi-cut tool, and basically you could just draw it out on what you want this to look like. So I'll put this right about here, make it as even as possible. Right click, make that solid. Come over, do the same thing. Right click, and then straight down the middle. Perfect. Well, not perfect, but hey, it'll do. I'm gonna grab these two, leave that little space right there. Go back to my extrude tool and just pull it up a little. Not too much, just enough to. Yeah, it's a little thick up there, so let's. In there. So now, if you can see it, you can actually aim down. Your character will be able to aim the weapon, and then of course there's the front. Okay, and let's bring this in. Make it. We can go narrow. We'll go narrow on this. I'm gonna move it upward a little. And a little more. And then I'm going to pull this right out. And no one really it doesn't really stick out so squarely like this. So what we're gonna do here is go here, we're gonna pull that in, go a little down with it, and right there will do me. Yes, that's fine. So if we come back around and look down, you kind of see it's kind of better to aim it. Okay. Now that we have that, let's go ahead and create another square here. Create this. Line this up a little. Yeah, about there. Now creating a handle with the trigger guard. It can be a little tricky, but honestly, it's not. Once you get it down, practice makes perfect. I'm just gonna go ahead and scale this, make it a little thinner. Like that. And what I want to do with this is I want it to kind of fit snugly here. So try to like almost match its size. We want to make that match its size. Almost. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just make it matchable. We're not done with this piece yet. I'm just trying to throw it all together real quick. And here's good. Alright, okay. Do the same. We could do the same thing with as we did using our subdivisions tool right here, but I'm not going to do that. Go to insert edge loop. I'll do this one manually. We'll go here. Same thing with our human face. Just try to like your best to eyeball it out. When you start eyeballing your models instead of using references, it's just going to increase your skill on this. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 right there. And now what I want to do, since that is scaled down, I'm gonna scale this down also. I'm gonna go to my edge, and I shall scale this down. Huh. That is not what I want you to do. Oh, I know what the problem is. Insert edge loop one more time. Let's give it some little vertices here. 3 dead center just to be even. What's the harm? And there we go. There we go. And the bottom should have the, yep, so we're gonna basically do the same thing we just did just now. And remember, when it comes to art, sometimes it has to get uglier before it gets better, so keep that in mind, don't ever get discouraged. Right there, that's good. Now this our size is a little off. So what we're gonna do here is go to object mode. I'm trying to fit this here. Let's see what we can do. Okay. And a little longer like this. Alright. Okay. I can make that work. That'll do. Now we're gonna detail everything before we assemble it. But let's go ahead and make our handle. Just sculpt out our handle real quick. Let's clear this out. Clear out this space right here. Perfect. It's just a series of extrusions and moving things around for the first half of it. Just for the beginning portions, just moving things around. Bring it down. We can make that work out later. Now, so what's funny is if you hit your G tool for extrusion, and before even pulling anything, you can scale it before you pull. So I can scale it down like this. Move it. You can move it back like this, and then pull down. No need to hit the extrude just yet. And then hit G to extrude it again, and then pull it out again. What we're basically trying to do is sculpt it out before we start getting into the details. The detailing is the fun part too, so you just want to have your general shape of your model already at hand. So we have our general shape going on now. So let's fix this trigger part. We could leave it, but you know what? Let's be complicated today. Bring that there. Let's bring this out. Okay. Now what's funny is normally you can use a boolean to create a good trigger, but boolean, if you don't use it correctly, it has a hard time rendering. Depending on what system you're using or what you're on, it has a hard time rendering. So doing everything manually is kind of preferred on my half. Preferred for me anyway. I'll bring this in. Which would make this whole upper model thinner. Oh, object mode. Okay. Now seeing as to how this hammer is like here, right? Like this. Basically what you want to do is make the bottom of where the hammer is match what this is doing. So in order to do this, let's just try to cheat the system right now. Let's select the middle portion. Match that line right there. Let's go to our insert edge loop. Come up and over. And right about there. Okay. And usually at the bottom of a hammer, it's usually either coming further out or sticking in. So we do whatever we want. Let's say what happens when we bring it out. Yeah, I like it when okay, out is fine. I like out. Okay. Not that much, but it's a bit of a process, and then it gets uglier and uglier as you go, but we got our general shape. Match the bottom to add up to the top. And we'll use another square and make it smaller and measure it off, and that'll be our hammer. But now see, this is what I'm doing right now is detailing. I'm going against what I just said, but at the same time we have our general shape and our general model. Now a difficult part of this, what are you doing? What is this? Why is that like that? Let's see how I have these two components are disattached. I don't know why that's happening, so we're gonna fix it. Multi-cut tool. Click that one to that one, and boom. Don't know why that's happening. Make this even though we might end up deleting this whole bottom piece. Actually, we're gonna delete this. We're gonna go ahead and grab your edges. I'm gonna hit delete on this. Now this is where your clip would go. So What we're going to do is go here, go to your extrude this, reduce this just a little, it's reduced, and bring it back a little, extrude again, go up. Now we have our clip area now. And you're probably wondering how you're going to get two separate objects to correspond with each other so the bullet can go here and come out the other side. But it's more simple than you think. We have our clip. Let me go to my wireframe. Same thing we did to create the barrel. You can use your wireframe for this. And I just want to come right up to where the barrel is, because it should be coming up close to the barrel, because it's going to, the bullets come from the clip area into the barrel and out the gun. Right there. About there. Now let's create us a trigger. Now this is fun. Now what we can do to make a trigger. Let's see what happens if I press 3 on this. Now you see how that's coming together? I'm gonna hit 3 on this one too. Slowly but surely coming together. Just now, all that's left now is some detailing. And whatever style you have, like, whatever type of game you're trying to make, it's good to add character. It's good for your firearms and your tools that you're going to be using during your game to have character. So for our trigger, let's select this. You know what? I'm gonna be complicated. All right, I'm gonna grab my multi-cut. And I'm going to sculpt out my trigger. I'm going to sculpt it out, because I like how it's already curved here. So if I come, let's say, let's see what it looks like. Come here, and then bring this one to here. Alright, I can live with it. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. Try to make it as even as possible. I was about here, went here, and came in here. Okay. Now what you can do is delete that edge here and delete that edge there. Grab both faces and now extrude this down. Or yeah, you can actually, that's perfect. Because what I'm going to do now is delete it. Now that's where our clip is. We can see that our clip is here. Being a nuisance. Can't be in the trigger, man. You can't do that. So I'm going to grab that. And we'll just push it back out the way. And that side I selected is just one side. The other side is not moving. Now we have a giant hole here. What do we do here? What we're going to do is grab our append polygon tool. It's on mesh tools. The first tool at your disposal. Append polygon tool. Append to polygon. And literally click the edges of that open space on wherever you're trying to connect. Here. G tool to repeat that process. G key, I mean. G key. G key. G key. Oops, missed a little space right there. G key. That's and there we go. Now we can actually start sculpting out some details here. So what we're going to do here is going to insert edge loop, our best friend. I will put one here, and one here. Right, that'll do us. That'll do us. Pull this out. No. Let's select the whole thing. Double click on that. Select all of it. Grab that out. Pull that out. Sorry for all the noise. I have a roommate. He's a rambunctious one. There's a nice little trigger hole for you. Whatever. I'll start making some minor details here. Okay, well that'll work. Sometimes it'll give you problems and not want to go all the way around sometimes, but then again, we already know about the multi-cut tool, so it doesn't matter. That there. This line will come to this one. And here. There. And there. Now, see, what I'm doing right now is just eyeballing a quick pistol for you. But if you know what your tools are and what they do, this is child's play. So what I'm going to do here is go to multi-cut tool. Why can't you highlight? Okay, there we go. There it is. Oops, I missed. Huh? I missed. That's all good though. So there. Who is this? Hello? Yes, it is. Hi, I'm good. Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. I'm available. I'm available at any time this week. Okay, sure. Is there a place you want me to go, or is it going to be remote? Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you so much. You too. Sorry for that, everybody. Important phone call. I just had to solve that. All right. Hopefully you saw what I did. All I did was use the tools we were already familiar with: multi-cut, insert edge loop. Now I want to make these two connect, so just merge it. All right. So you see what we're generally doing here. We have this big old square-looking handle. Just give it some character. I'll go ahead and grab this, grab this, grab this. I'm double-clicking these. As to select it all around. That should work. Yeah, that should work. Let's see what happens if we just make this a little smaller. Okay, no. Oh, ooh. The clip. Okay, I forgot to select the clip. Don't forget that. Okay, now. There we go. There we go. There we go. It's starting to make a little sense now. Yeah, we can bring it back a little. Just a little, not by much. There you go. It's still a little boxy, squarey, but we'll fix all that right now. We could insert edge loop because we have so much space to work with. So where are you? Insert edge loop. Put one here. Put one here. Okay, do that. That's all I really needed to do. So I'm gonna go here. Let's grab these center lines right here. These center vertices here. Let's see what happens if we just give this a quick tug. See what happens. Okay, I can live with it. And just do the same thing we just did here for the other side. I'll grab these two, grab these two, grab these two, and just tug it. Just give it a little tug outward. The dimension of our handle. At this point, we're just sculpting out. It's a little uneven, so I'll pull this other side out just to make it a little even. There we go. We have a decent handle there. And usually there's a little indents for where your fingers would go. So let's see what happens if we just do this. Okay. Let's hit 3 on this and see what we got. Okay, it's coming together. It's coming together. Now, I'm not neglecting this part, this piece. I'm not neglecting it or anything. I want to sculpt this out as much as possible, get as many details in there, and then we'll work on attaching the two. And we could put a trigger on this at any time, but we would use a separate piece for that. And oh yeah, one more thing. I think I'm running out of time for this video, but we will continue this video to finish off our firearm. Double click that inside of there. So I need double click inside of here. The whole entire clip area is now selected. Now I want to grab the top. And this is an easy way to make a clip that's already fitted to your firearm without having to like resize it and stuff. What you could do is go here, edit. You can just duplicate that surface. Control D to also duplicate, apparently. Oops. Object mode. Where is it? Let's try that again then. Because it most certainly did not come out of there. Object mode. Okay, For some reason, my duplicate is not duplicating. Have no fear. Duplicate by special then. You can hold shift. Hold shift and hold your right mouse click button and duplicate face. Oh, and duplicated the whole thing. Oops. It's duplicating the whole thing. Huh. Okay, there we go. Duplicate face did it for us. It took a minute. I'm like, what is going on? And this will be where our clip is. Now we have our clip. Sorry if that took a minute. You want to hold shift and hold your right click button and it'll be duplicate faces. Somewhere on here. I'm not about to try to find it again. Just hold your shift and right click. This is inside out, so what we're going to do is just grab this edge and we're going to bring it 90 degrees straight up, right side up. And we have a decent sized, already fitted clip. Go here, object mode, and there's a clip. A little bit of detailing, making inside for where the bullets can go. That was a painful process. Let's bring this out.